I don't know how she does it, but she has done it again because I have loved all the looks I put together for you guys today. This palette, do you see this electric blue situation? Do you see the blend of these mattes? All right, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Hey guys, this is Ashleigh. Welcome on back to my channel. So, we got a good palette here for you today. This is the Blend Bunny Machina palette. But before I get carried away, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashleigh. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashleigh, and eyeshadow's my jam. Eyeshadow is my jam, okay? And I love some Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Now, this palette was sent to me in PR, and I am recently an affiliate with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. My code is Dr. Ash. We just gonna keep it simple. Dr. Ash, okay? Now, this palette is super special to her because Maggie actually created this with her father, who unfortunately passed away from cancer. And when they were in the hospital, they were like distracting him, or he was being distracted by working on different product concepts for her brand. And they discovered this particular palette. They were talking about how technology has taken over our lives, which is so true. And they were talking about AI. So basically it's two color stories in one. And first of all, let's look at how gorgeous this packaging is. I think to date that this is some of the most beautiful packaging that she has had on her palette. I mean, it is just gorgeous. So this is what the palette looks like. It is gorgeous, and it is pretty much true and standard to the Blend Bunny format, okay? And when I say that, it means that there is a color progression. The shades go from light to dark in the same color family. And in this particular palette, you know, the shimmers are kind of opposite, which I do like, and it brings a little bit of more excitement to the palette. And if you notice, this is the half I believe that Maggie created, and this is the half that her father created. And look at these yummy blues. We haven't had any like true blues in her palette, so I'm just really excited about it. So, and look at this look. Okay, I'm in love with it. So, you know, the last palette that released, which was the Sickly Sweet palette that released around the Halloween time, it had everybody up in arms because it was not organized and complete color stories. Everything like shadows were here, there, and everybody about lost their mind in that pastel palette. Now, I just think that everything worked out really well with this palette. I feel like everything, you could blend it really well. I also feel like, I talk about this later on in the video, that some of the lighter shades in this palette that, you know, usually they're a little bit more white base with the pastels. These are not. So I really enjoy that there's just a lighter tone and that you don't get so much white in the background or the base of the shadow. So it doesn't have like that ashy appearance when I go ahead and put it on my particular skin complexion. And it does retail for $45. It is still available. Now, people should start probably getting their palettes now because she had some type of issue, like the palettes didn't show up in time for shipping on the release date. And I know she's working, so it's basically, it wasn't a pre-order, but then it turned into a pre-order. And then I know she's going to get the palettes out to people very quickly because, first of all, I don't know what type of deal that this lady has with the United States Postal Service, but she could get some stuff to you very quickly. I'm like, how did you do that? Like, I mean, and her shipping is just fast in general. Her shipping was fast prior to me getting PR from her. It's fast with the, I mean, I don't know how she does it. So I wouldn't be concerned if, you know, you pre-order palette. As soon as she gets the palette, I know you'll probably get it within the next couple of days. Like I said, I don't know what type, maybe she got the little inside track. Girl, let us know because you can get that stuff to us very quickly. And I don't know what happens. It's like literally you order it and the next day is here, literally. So I have 4 beautiful, beautiful looks for you today. And we're going to go ahead and get started because I am obsessed. I think, like I said, every look, I will talk about some things where I ran into a couple of problems and we'll address that. But I am excited to present the looks. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get started. We got beautiful color story right here, and the eyebrows are filled in. Actually, my base makeup is done because I've been filming today and I was a little lazy, so I was like, you know what, we're not gonna take this off. The eyelids are primed and prepped with my matte contemplative state. The eyebrows are filled in with my Goof Proof pencil in the shade 3.75, and I'll go over my face details a little bit later. So let's get started. Okay, so what you're seeing right here is my eyes watering because I've been filming prior to this. It's not the shadow, it's just this eye always tends to water a lot. And it's making the shadows appear patchy, so I'm just going to take a little bit more primer. Pop that there. I know it ain't none right there. Just gonna blend that out real quick. Nothing too major, but just, you know, make it smooth. Just gonna kind of pat it in. All right, now going in with that Blends Bunny brush that you saw, I'm gonna go back with the black, which is called Shut Down. We're gonna pop it in there, and I might have to just kind of go back and forth to get my gradient together. Since, by the way, this eye, loving it, beautiful. Let's see, I feel like this one's gonna be beautiful too. We just gotta get her together. So she wants the water over here. So the shadows are really not patchy at all. Even the reds. The purple is looking patchy at the moment, but I know that is my... Okay. So got the black builded up, going back in with the deep purple, which is Imante, right here. And I'm just going to pop that back in. And I have hooded eyes, so I always have to kind of stretch my eye sometimes to make sure there's shadow there, so it's not looking crazy. Did you see? There you go. And then we're gonna blend, because you know, I got to have blended looks over here. Now I'm gonna go back in with that flat brush. This is a Sonia G soft shader. There we go. There we go. Now, going ahead and taking, this is a Singe Beauty E05, so it's a real small brush. And we're going to hit these edges and corners and diffuse. And there we go. Boom. So yeah, that's how you correct that mistake. You know. So if you're having like allergy eyes or whatever, you can do that. And like I said, I get a lot of that. That's from me filming, taking makeup off, putting it back on. Even though I do it real gentle, I let my eyes kind of rest in between this video and the last video, but it's what it is. It's just what it is. Now I would say the Monty, I would say that this purple is a little harder to work with. It might be a little patchy actually. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pat back in. I think that one is just a tiny bit patchy actually. Okay. Yeah, we can't do too much manipulation with her. And go back in. Clean this up along my brow bone. I'm loving this gradient though. It's really pretty. Okay. And then when I do my concealer, all that be cleaned up. Okay, so let's get finished. I'm gonna go in with the shade Mortality. It looks to be like a dual chromey shade. Well, it has a little reflex of gold in there. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that is pretty. Oh, wow. You know, she has really improved her shimmers where they're very sparkly. I would say they have a little stick to them, so you really don't need a glitter glue. They press down very well. And they can start off sheer and you can build them up to be opaque. All right, let's clean that shimmer up. I'm gonna go in with my flat definer brush by Sonia G, and I'm gonna kind of fuse that purple and the shimmer together so we don't have a harsh line there. Yeah, but I would say that purple, yeah, that purple is not purpling. It's a little pack, look, because it's already faded right there. It's so good. I don't know if I've ever experienced a shadow just like kind of disappearing from her. Yeah, but that one did. Yeah. I don't even know if more primer would even benefit from that. It's just like, it's gone. It's like you see a little pinch of it over here, maybe because there's more primer there. These are my thoughts. I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Let's see. I'll take a tinge more. Just a smidget more of the primer. I'm just gonna dab. I'm gonna dab it flatten it out. Ooh, I think I lost whatever purple was right there before I'm go back in with that brush. And this is Imanti. This is the deepest purple in that row. Yeah. Okay, now you can see the primer on it. Okay, let's keep building. Let's keep building. Okay, but the first purple is wonderful. So that was Glitch. Glitch, no problems with. This one is the one I'm having issues with. So let's see. I'm gonna press on. I can't leave it unblended. There, looks better-ish. I'm gonna go back in with the shimmer. Fuse it. It's that harsh line right there. Okay. Yeah. And beef this up. We get the maximum shine. Okay. I'm not mad at it, but yeah, that purple, it's patchy. Okay, it's pretty. It's gonna come together as soon as I clean up. All right, I'll be right back. I'm back, and it came together. You can see the purple. It came together, but we're gonna be honest. That shade is patchy, but it came together and it's beautiful. And I feel like it's bold when we're talking about this pink look, but it's not overly bold. And the purples with the blue and a little pop of pink, both of the looks are wonderful. So for the lashes, I use my Ardell Naked Lashes in the shade 429. They're a little bit longer and fluffier. I do like how they look. I have probably like snatched a little bit too much of this lash off because when I was cleaning off some of the glue, a little piece came off and I was like, probably needed that little extra little cluster, but they're working, so I'm happy with it. And once again, I told you that my face makeup was already done prior to this video and holding up, but I mean, it wasn't like I put it on at like 12:30ish. It's just 4:30. So I'm filming. I'm on my YouTube grind. We got to get these videos. I got palettes. I got Machina. Well, we're doing Machina now. And I just filmed with Bailey Sarian for the Fatally Yours palette. And then I still got cosmic brushes down here. I have a palette that Natalia Larevo gave me from Creators and Friends. We are still waiting for Adept to show up. So, you know, and it's the end of the year. I got to do favorites and I got to be on my grind, and I've been busy and I haven't been able to. So, you know, we got to make things work. But I have on the Yummy Skin Foundation and she's yummy. So this is the shade 18 Golden. My friend Beauty and the Frizz. It's her fault. It's her fault that I have this also. This is by Givenchy. And this is Liquid Balm. This is Rose Perfection. Look how beautiful this is. And look how it looks. That black and pink swirl, we both bought one. I've been wearing it all week. It's been wonderful. It's not sticky. It's not goopy. I just kind of put it on. I don't need a lip liner. It just works. It's a nice hint of color with kind of like a little bit deeper base. And for the bronzer, I have on my Juvia's Place bronzer in the shade 10. I kept on my Melt products from earlier before because, you know, I do have a whole host of Blend Bunny face products as well, and the lip products. But I do have on this Amore Mariposa. Well, this is the Monarca blush palette. Sorry, that palette's in the way. And, oh, in the waterline, I took my Danessa Myrick Chariot eyeliner because I felt like it would go perfect with both of the looks. So far, I'm really liking the shadows. The blend has been great, except for that one particular shadow. And it was the deep purple. So it would fall in the purple color story. And it is this one, Emots. The shade is good, but I had a lot of trouble making it stick. I'm going to report back when I do my palette ranking. Maybe because my eye was here, but it just kept disappearing. And I kind of got the watering under control, but I'm going to give it another go. But for first impression, it was patchy. This purple was beautiful. It blended out in the crease very well. You can build it up, kind of sheer it out. Like I said, I have hooded eyes, you know, so I have to make sure those hit the folds. And what else was great? This A1. So one thing I've noticed about this palette, I've used these two lighter shades, this peachy shade and this shade right here. So you got AI and you have Error Code. For these particular softer shades, they're just softer. They're not so much white base like pastels. They kind of give pastel in appearance, but they're not giving the ash factor. Praise God, okay? Not giving ash factor. So I really do like that. I also like the shimmers. Really great sparkle and shine. You don't really even need a glitter glue for these. You can just tap it on with your fingers. They have a little bit stick to them, but very smooth. Also, they go on sheer, which I do like about their shimmers. They go on sheer because sometimes, a lot of times with the Blend Bunny, I'm like, it's all about the mattes. You know, you don't want to overpower with the shimmer, but it goes on sheer and you're able to just build it up to get the opacity you want. Same thing with this one. I love the little gold flecks. This one is beautiful in the inner corner pair with the purple. So I'm excited about this. I'm really loving. You can kind of see that lashes just kind of sticking up there, but I don't know. It's working. But from the side profile, you see. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to do another look. I just love what this packaging looks like. The thing about Blend Bunny, it really just doesn't deserve 3 looks. It really deserves like 4 or 5. There's so many here, and I tried to use so many different shades from jumping, you know, here, it got here, so we could kind of test out a lot of the shades. But I don't think my eyes can handle 2 more looks or 3. You know what blends? I like to do 5, but we're gonna have to, and I don't know, because I'm like, I want to use green, I want to use the blues, we got grays. What time is it? 4:30. Child, we're gonna see how this goes. All right, I'll be back. All right, I am back and I love them, okay? So these are going to be the final 2 looks I do. Usually I like to close out my video with one complete look, but I think it would be a hot mess if I try to do anything else on my eyes this evening. But these look so good. So I definitely went ahead. The beauty of it is that these shadows blend so well because I started off with the gray shade right here. So that is called Robotic. Then jumped in with this blue. This blue is just beautiful. This circuit, I just had to take a pause when I put it on my eyes. And then jumping in with a little bit of Motherboard was really pretty. And this blue shimmer, Cyborg, gorgeous as well. Shimmer, I mean, it's very metallic. It's very electric blue. You know, like I said, it has that little bit of opacity. And in a corner, I said, okay, let me take a little bit of the purple flawed. And then for the green eye, I felt that that came out really pretty as well. Now, the neon shade, it was a little bit more neon, but it wasn't so white based. So it showed up. It didn't give the ash. So you got the little hint. Went in with digital underneath to build up. And then I was like, okay, Machine wasn't as dark as I expected, but we have the black. Went ahead, put the black in, and it literally just deepened up the shade and made it look like it was a part of the palette. It made it look like this is a shade, and it did not look like, oh, she put black on. Like, it looks like this is the actual shade in the palette. So that is the beauty of how well these shadows blend. It's not like, oh, I'm just stamping in a black and you can tell that I added black, you know, onto the actual eyeshadow. No, it came together. And then you can manipulate the black to look like, okay, this is black. And, you know, I have those color differentiations. But I love how they just blended together so seamlessly. And then I mixed the 2 shimmers. So Switch, which is gorgeous by itself, and the shade Sci-Fi. Really, really pretty. The shimmers, oh my gosh, they're so sparkly. The mattes are just effortless. And then I decided, okay, let me pop in a little gray right here also to give a little extra dimension. I am thrilled with this palette. I would say that the only shade that we're going to try her again and see what's going on. The only shade that I did not use in the palette would be the whites. I never tend to really use whites in palettes, so it's not a big deal for me. And I did not use Attract and Enamored, these 2. But everything else, yeah, I have touched all of these, all of those. Yeah, I've done well for my 4 looks, and I definitely wanted to show some differentiation. You know, I love jumping in between the shades. You know, definitely we have the color build again, so you guys don't have to worry. It's not the chaotic spread out of Sickly Sweet where everybody lost their mind, but I do like how that the shimmers are kind of opposite. It gives the palette a little bit more dimension versus that one row of shimmers. I do like that. So you can very easily can see a color story here. And I get that. A lot of people do need to see the color story. And sometimes I appreciate you putting some stuff together for me too. And I just think that everything came out so well. You definitely have 2 really cool different types of palettes if you're looking. And then one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, I just felt like the tones of this particular palette is just so different. I'm not sure how she does it because, you know, every single palette basically is kind of like the same setup to a degree. It's a lot of different mattes. So I pulled out a few palettes so you can see that the tones in Machina are different. So first one would be Grunge, and that's just because it has some of the greens and the grays. So, you know, we have purple, but look, these are lavender. We got red and pink. These are more mauve for sure. So I definitely felt like these were different. Oh, can I try to hold them up together? I don't know. You know, and every time I try to hold up some stuff together, it can get very hairy, very dicey. So let's see. I think I could do better than that, but I'm so every time. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so you can see that those purples and the greens are not quite the same. Next up, I have Primal. So, you know, Primal is very primary color. So, here you go here. So, I'm not so sad about that purple not working out because I definitely have these 2 purples. But, of course, if you don't have this particular palette, and this palette was my least favorite. that, you know, you would be upset if you got Machina and it didn't work. We don't know. The jury is still out on that purple shade, but, you know, so that is Primal. And then we also have Blends. So Blends is like one of the only palettes where you actually have, like, this one has the actual blue. So this is quite different for Blends. Of course, you got the black, the white, you got one gray. And then we have Lore. Lore has a few more blues, more turquoises, more purples for sure. Kelly green type shades. And then Surge. Surge is just totally different. So I feel like every time she comes out, the tones and the hues are completely different. I can't say like, yes, I have this color, you know, except for maybe a black, a white, and, you know, some shades are going to look a little similar. Let's keep it honest. But I feel like she does a good job at the color curation and making sure that everything looks different. Because I don't feel like anything I had on today is a repeat of anything I have in my collection. So with all of that being said, let me know, what is your favorite look? This blue look is doing it for me. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You tell me what your favorite look is. Then we're just going to go with that. Congratulations. This palette is gorgeous. And I think that she did an excellent tribute to her father, because I know this palette means so much to her. But it is simply gorgeous. I think this might be like your best release of the year. I'm going to give you that. And yeah, leave a comment, give this video a big old thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon, and subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance, hey, 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 chair dance, chair dance, hey, chair dance, All right, y'all. Bye.